Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannon's. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
Nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to your Tuesday night broadcast here on SRW TV. Tonight we bring to you the Simrigs V8 Supercars Amateur Series here for round 5, thanks to Warren and Brown Tools at Willow Springs International Raceway for the first time for the SRW League in the V8 Supercars. I'm Nathan ShiBBy Howard. In the comms box next to me tonight is Thomas Preach Riley. Good evening, mate. Just had an issue. They didn't. Sorry, stream, you didn't hear a thing Preach said. I thought I broke my headset and all my sound settings before the broadcast. It turns out I may have. He says he's keen to be here, which is great. I'm so glad. I will get this sorted any second. Okay, now, in theory, they should hear you.
Good evening.
Oh gosh, yes, they can definitely hear you now.
Good evening, chat. How are we? I would go through the whole thing again, but I'm just going to say I'm good. I'm glad to be here for another night of the Simrigs V8 Supercars Amateur Series, and very keen to see what Willow Springs has to offer. I haven't seen any racing around here. I have raced around here. If you go way back to Need for Speed Pro Street on the Nintendo DS, this was one of the tracks in the game. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen this track. I was very excited to see it as we see someone go miles off in the dirt. It will be a challenge for these drivers. A new track evens the playing field for a lot of them. So it's really just down to driver skill tonight.
It looks like a really awesome track to get out there and race on. So I was having a look through practice, watching a few of the guys, and I tell you what, I think we're in for a phenomenal race tonight. Tonight's race is a 60-minute standard race with a top 10 shootout. So as we go through the racecraft qualifying session, keep an eye on those top 10, because they will be moving to the racecraft top 10 shootout.
Of course, last week we saw an absolutely incredible performance by McDonald, who came along and absolutely blitzed the field. Led from lights to flag, basically clean swept the whole night. Fastest in qualifying, fastest in the top 10 shootout, and absolutely, just showed the field what's up in that race. It was a weird race last week. Sort of was bordering on two stops, but he'd make it in 2. But ended up being it was definitely a 3-stop was the fastest way to go, just because of fuel load and the fuel burn around Imola relative to everyone else. You could see through this section here. Just look at the undulation change as they come back down the hill through the sweeping bends. It will be a challenge for all the drivers to run through here in a line. I think it will be even more of a challenge for overtaking. If you just look at the racing line there, it's all the way out on the edge of the circuit, and then you tuck back in towards that apex pole on the right-hand side. So you head down. Drivers have done a whole bunch of laps in this session already. This practice session, we've got the most laps we've got is Bruce White has done 50 laps just in practice. So you can see how much effort the drivers are putting in to learn the track and know what the track is capable of. and what they're capable of around the track. I think the surface will make it interesting for tyre wear and for standing starts, as we see a bit of a burnout there from Bruce White, who has done the most laps out of anyone, as I said. Chris Burridge is closely approaching, though. He's on his 50th lap now. So there's a couple of drivers who are in the 40s, quite a few in the 30s, and then a couple of those who might have done some practice in the midweek and have just decided, you know what, let's just jump in and see what happens.
It's the best way to do it, I reckon. Don't even try it. Baseline setup all the way. Don't need setups. Get out here, just chuck it down the track. And then, you're getting better as you stay on the track more and more often.
Yeah, with the baseline setup, I'd hope you were getting a little bit stronger. But we are heading over to the qualifying session now. What's your tip, ShiBBy? Are you tipping Jordan McDonald to jump right back up to the front again?
Look, mate, I've now seen him race in the V8 Supercars and the Toyota 86s. So, just going from what I've seen, he's definitely going to be a top contender. And after last week's performance in the V8s as well, I feel like he's going to be the one that people are going to want to chase down.
Yeah, I definitely think so. You've got people like Joe Marnie, who will be hoping to turn some form around and get back up towards the front. And probably this track is one of those ones where it might be a little bit more suited for him in terms of getting that form turned around. Equal playing field, everyone sort of learning the track at the same pace, and then it's just down to driver skill and how well you adapt to a new track, different setup philosophy potentially, and yeah, just trying to make the most of it. But one of our form contenders in Tim Nicol, form qualifying drivers over the last couple of seasons, I'd be expecting him to be challenging Jordan as well throughout the session. There was a little bit of movement in the order after last week's race in the championship order. So there's some drivers here who will be definitely eager to capitalise on the gains they made. Only 3 sectors around this track, so a little bit more usual to what you might see in real life racing. There only being 3 sectors that we will be keeping our eyes on tonight.
Makes it a bit easier to keep track.
Keep our eye on the first sector times as they start piling through for all these drivers. Sort of sitting around the mid to high 24s through the first sector. Fastest at the moment is Jordan McDonald through that first sector. Second sector is about 30 odd seconds long. And then this final sector is another 22, 23 second sector. You can see how much speed they're carrying in. Big on the brakes. It's a bit of a weird corner in terms of getting the car tucked in. Sort of keep the car wide all the way through and then tuck it in tightly on the exit. We do get our first representative lap time here of Jordan McDonald, who pulls out a 1 minute 15.1, quickly eclipsed by Bruce White on a 15.0. So he's doing a nice run there. I think he might have had just that little bit of slipstream assistance.
Oh, Travis Daly from PSR. Crosby, the times are lighting up.
Yep, track is definitely coming to these drivers. A little bit of slipstream assistance probably helping. Burridge at the moment with the fastest time of a 14.7. So Jordan McDonald's got a little bit to do to catch. Oh, big slide. Just got 2 wheels in the dirt. Managed to catch it and keep it going. But that will be a spot that we'll keep our eyes on with earnest tonight.
And Tipping just locks himself into provisional P6. Hodgkinson up into provisional P10. There is your provisional top 10 shootout for now. I wonder where the benchmark's going to be tonight, mate, with already 14s flying out in the first couple of laps of qualifying.
I'd be expecting to see a low maybe a 14.2 potentially as the drivers get a bit more accustomed to the cars, a bit more accustomed to the track, and the grip starts to come up. I'd be expecting something in and around that 14.2. Just looking at what we've got at the moment and knowing what sort of improvement we've had. We won't be seeing as fast in the top 10 shootout. We know that throughout the last couple of weeks of having this original format, normal format, as you see. Someone very far off. Travis Nielsen, miles off on the inside of turn 1. Definitely think that turn 1 is one of your more usual overtaking points in terms of a 90 left. Although it is quite a fast 90 left just based on the geometry of the corner. And then to get a move done, you have a lot of faith with the guy on the inside. But you also then get the rubbered line under brakes into turn 2, and it's quite a sweeping corner. So lots of time spent wearing out the left side of the car. Those tyres, with being a clockwise circuit, you'd be expecting a fair bit of work to go on those tyres. Just hear the throttle modulation through here. Really just being careful about picking up the throttle at the earliest point to make sure you don't run out into the grass. Dirt.
Painted green, it's grass, mate. Yeah,
Very true.
You can hear how much Callan is fighting the accelerator and the steering on this track. Every time he makes a turn, you can hear those wheels really starting to squeal. He's just trying to keep the grip and the traction down to those rear wheels.
It definitely looks like a fun track. I will guard my overtaking prospects of this track until we actually see the first couple of laps of racing. But yeah, I'm getting the feeling it's a good hot lap track. Good track to learn the car, know what the car's capable of. The run into the pit entry will be interesting, being on the racing line on the left-hand side of the circuit with the main straight. That will make pit lane entries very interesting indeed.
Indeed it will. It looks like a wide track, but if you take into perspective of how much they are going to be turning the wheel across this track, it is going to make it very, very interesting to see where overtakes actually take place. There's really not too many straight sections into, from what I can see, easier corners to make an overtake on.
Yeah, I definitely think turn 1, maybe the first sector is probably one of your better opportunities. But if you can get yourself a good exit out of, what's that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counting on my screen here, out of turn 5 and 6, you might be able to get yourself up the inside down into the final sequence of corners, that final sector, that big sweeping bend to the right-hand side.
Chipping now coming through. Oh, into the dirt. Just gets on the accelerator a little bit too hard. Catches the dirt, trying to push his car out as far to the edge of the track as he can. The crowd absolutely loves it, though. They are going wild. On screen they were. The in-sim crowd was going wild.
All right, I've got some corner names for you now.
Oh, all right.
So turn 1 is Castrol corner, and then turn 2, where Reese to go is just exited, is Rabbit's Ear. And then into this hairpin at 3, big compression, and then into the Budweiser balcony where he's just gone off track.
Oh.
Heavy off track on the left-hand side there. The wall is very close, that corner. And then downhill through 5 into Monroe Ridge. And then your wings leg down into the sweeper. 9 corners is all that I'm seeing counted. So a third of the corners I see as being somewhat feasible overtaking opportunities. That's it.
Only a third. This is going to be really interesting. Anybody out there in the chat had a lap or few around Willow Springs? You could fill us in with a bit of hot tips about where we might actually see the overtakings getting done tonight, and where we should watch out for that action on track, because this is a very brand new track to iRacing.
finally seen the track in high res.
Oh, I can turn the other stream off?
Yes, you can turn the other stream off. Sorry, chat. I was having some internet issues downloading this track, but I'm here now. And I can definitely see that it is all just dirt on the outside of the corners.
Yeah.
Dirt and a whole bunch of dead grass. But the undulation is definitely apparent. I'm board here with Christopher Burridge, who's currently sitting P2 on a 14.7. Whilst we were all remarking about where's the overtaking opportunities, McDonald just says, I don't need to overtake. Puts himself on a 14.5 up there in P1.
So the fastest in practice was I believe, a 1:14.424, and that was done by Jordan. Closely
14.4.
Yeah, closely followed by Darren Crosby with a 14.5. There's Darren now. He's sitting in P4 with a 14.9. So he's definitely not getting the same sort of times he was down in practice. But if you have a look at that track map, a lot of these cars are on top of each other right now. Where are they? 1, 2, third corner, just absolutely packed. Leading from Travis Nielsen, there is just an absolute lineup of cars. That's not the camera I wanted. Starting to follow him through.
Oh, that's Bruce White off track.
Off he goes.
Was that Bruce White? No, that was Brett Taylor. Sorry, my bad.
We've had Ty Delaney drop in and say, yeah, boys, good luck, everyone. Nathan Kane has dropped in and has said, let's go Chippy, a.k.a. McDonald. It's not how you pronounce his last name, by the way.
Donnell.
Mahoney, though, has got himself up into provisional P6 of the 1:14.934. Let's just have a quick look at those top 7 times. Oh, let's say top 8 right now. They are right on top of each other. There is nothing between Mahoney, Crosby, DeGoey, or Dooley. Absolutely nothing. That is ridiculously close. And then even if we go back down again from Daly all the way down to Healy, there's another 10 drivers. Again, nothing in it. This could really bring on some super close racing tonight.
Definitely could. Just heard, I just heard in the background, you probably can't hear it, chat, but I heard our race control. Oh, that's.
Thought he was going for a jump. That was Patar Pavlovich.
We just heard that Andrew Cowan has been handed a 5-place grid penalty for impeding during this session. So if he wants to get himself into the top 10 shootout, he's going to need to set something that's fast enough for 5th place.
So right now I'd be looking at a 1:14.92 to get him into that spot.
I believe that's how it works, is it not?
Asking the wrong person, I'm just here to talk. A 5 grid, yeah, so if it's a grid
penalty... Does it
penalty,
apply to this session or does it apply to post shootout?
No, I would say it's
to this session and then, yeah.
So if he finishes in 16th now, he will drop down to 21st.
Oh. And there's big news. Jordan McDonald has picked up a 5-place penalty as well for contact on his lap 6.
Oh, wow.
So at this stage, he won't be the first car out, or the last car out in the shootout, and he won't be the last car out at all. Should this penalty remain? Should he make the shootout, I should say. Sitting good at the moment on a 14.5. Jason Douglas sitting down in 13th at the moment. He's on his outlap. So this will be interesting to see what he can do. I've seen his pace over the last couple of weeks has been incredible. It's been very good. Been fighting all the way up near the front. But to do that tonight, he needs to bang in a good lap here to get himself further up the order. He needs to find roughly 0.4 of a second.
Which doesn't sound like much, but on a racetrack, it is a lot.
Might jump on board for a lap here with Jace as he gets himself set up. Comes through the final corner, gets it as close to that curb. There's a little compression on the inside that he wants to try and tuck his right wheels into. Pulling sixth gear all the way up to the line. He's going to be out of breath in sixth as he jams on the brakes into turn one. Heavy on the brakes, just coasts it in nicely to the apex. Leaves it in fourth gear, so high speed corner. Pulls fifth, then short shifts, drops back down to fourth. Modulates the throttle, slowly advances the throttle pedal as soon as he can see the exit. Pulls fifth, jams on the brakes. He's got a bit of traffic in front of him to deal with. Gets himself all the way to the right, up on the curb. Still traffic on the outside. But that doesn't compromise his run out of this corner. He's done all right through there. Parks it up on the inside curb for 5. Down the hill now through 6, 7, and 8. Flat out. Position the car nicely to the right-hand side.
That is a fast corner.
The fast approach, and then fourth gear all the way through. So yeah, he just has has to come off the throttle a little bit, so just to get the car to rotate nicely. His lap does look decent. Puts him only up one spot though, so he's got to find still another 3/10.
Now he moves up
get himself in there. So Cowie, he needs to find himself a little bit of margin to get himself into the top 10 and to be safe in the top 10 to go to the shootout. We are on some lap times here. Joe Marnie is doing a nice lap time at the moment. Marnie jumps himself up into third. That's a good lap from him. Race control message on screen there for car 175. So that's Brett Taylor. Has a 5-place group penalty as well for impeding on his hot lap, on a hot lap.
Wow, this is bringing out some, I think, a big learning curve for the AM drivers here tonight with such a tight track. And it's only quite short with this many cars. It's definitely teaching the guys how to deal with a absolute packed out qualifying session.
There's confirmation of the message as well to notify that Cowan also has a 5-place group penalty.
Scott Weston will move up into P17. Vitar Pavlovich will fire straight back and jump him for P17. Todd Martin coming around now as well. Oh, straight into the pits he goes. Oh, he's off the track. Oh, that was a ghost cone.
I think this is going to be a story of the night.
Post top 10 shootout pens, yeah. Yep, sweet.
Okay, so the 10 that we have on screen at the moment is the 10, and that's what they'll go with, but then there is a grid penalty afterwards. So imagine it's like in Formula 1, how you have Q1, Q2, Q3. Any penalties that you get will apply to your grid position, not to the result of the grid-forming qualifying session, if that makes sense. For example, if Max Verstappen on the weekend had a 5-place grid penalty for new parts, but he still got himself to pole position, which meant he only dropped himself to 6th. He was able to take part in the full session. If anyone's questioning out there what we mean and why we were confused. Coming up to 1 minute left in this session, drivers.
Vitar gone better again, up into 15th. Starting to get a bit of a flow about himself.
Yeah, he'll be tight to get around for another lap if he does decide to push on. Watching the timing board to see if any times are coming up with any green sectors. Tim Nicol, it does have a green sector through sector 2. Trying to get a little bit of a gap for himself to get himself into the top 10 more comfortably. Come across the line now. What can he manage? Through the final sector, he does improve. Gets himself only up to 7th though. That's how tight the field is. Still made a very decent gain on his lap, but only into 7th place. Joe Marnie with a green second sector. Can he make it? Improve in the 3rd, but does put himself to a top on a 14.457. So puts himself in the prime position here.
Great lap.
Provisional pole at the moment. Bruce White is improving through the 1st sector. And he decided to pin himself back to pits.
I think from what we've seen tonight, that is going to be a very tough corner for our drivers. I can imagine when there's 2, 3, 4 cars battling towards that final corner, we could see some spectacular off tracks right there.
Because it's so long and it tightens on exit. That's what's making it difficult for drivers to get through there nice and clean. Callan Hodgkinson is still out there. He's got a green through the 2nd sector. Jason Douglas does get himself into the 10. Currently sitting in 9th. Hodgkinson, though.
Oh, Jace just jumped himself up into the top 10 shootout.
Yep.
Oh,
Jumped
nice
himself
work.
up into 9th, so Mummy should be okay. And he will be. Callan only managed 18th fastest. And the last car across the line is Jordan McDonald. No green sectors here. But has he done enough to get himself last car out? No, only a 14.565. So he is starting. He will be the 2nd last car out in the top 10 shootout. Jason Douglas will be pretty happy with that result to get himself into the 10, give himself another chance to improve his grid starting position.
A little bit of extra
But that will do
stress,
us.
though.
A little bit of extra stress, but, you know, the worst he can do is 10th. That's how it is. The worst he can do is 10th.
Yep.
So for Kennedy, Douglas, DeGoey, those 3, that's send it territory. See what happens. But that will set grids 11 to 24 now. Starting, Joe Marnie takes out the provisional pole with a 14.4. Jordan McDonald with a 14.5 will be the 2nd last car out. In the top 10 shootout, joining them is Crosby, Tipping, Burridge, Dooley, Nicol, DeGoey, Douglas, and Stephen Kennedy. Outside the 10 is Daly, White, Peck, and Cowan. Cowan has a 5-place grid penalty, so he'll drop down a little bit further. Pavlovich, Sipple, Healy, Hodgkinson, Weston, and Nielsen. Then over the page, we've got Hanson, Martin, Sinkovich, Taylor.
Oh, yep.
Whilst we jump over to the next session for our top 10 shootout, we will take a quick break. But before we go, we will thank all of our sponsors whilst we have this opportunity. Simrigs.com, of course, sponsoring our Supercars AM and Supercars Pro Am series. Great sponsors. Warren and Brown Tools, our round sponsor here tonight and every week here in the Supercars AM series. Tempting Sweets, they sponsor our driver of the day, and our podium getters will also get a little prize pack as well. Dragon RC. Who else have we got? Grim Industries is the home of the V8 coffee table and the manufacturers of our great trophies from last season. If you haven't seen a photo, I'm sure they're floating around in the Discord somewhere, of the trophies that came out for our drivers, championship drivers as well, throughout last season. Rocket Unlimited, I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
Yes, Rocket Unlimited for all the audio that you hear on the stream tonight, all the music and sound effects and whatever else is going on stream. And then I'm still forgetting one, aren't I? Oh, Shannon's, they sponsor our GR86 series. and our F3 series on a Wednesday and Thursday night. And Rare Spares have jumped on board recently. There's a nice little giveaway on the SRW Facebook page, so jump on there if you are interested. See if you can identify the motor noise from a classic car. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back with the top 10 shootout very, very shortly.
We are back after that really quick, short intermission. Thanks for sticking with us as we head on into the Racecraft Top 10 Shootout here for round 5. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools at Willow Springs. The drivers are going through their briefing with our race directors this evening. Getting a quick rundown on how this top 10 will work. If you don't know how a top 10 shootout works, it's quite easy. Each driver gets one out lap, a warm-up lap, and then each driver gets one lap to set the fastest time possible. So that is all it takes. Any sort of instance off the track running into anything, loss of control will make that lap null and void. So lots to lose, lots to gain within a top 10 shootout. Tyson McAvoy is our race director this evening. Help direct this top 10 shootout. Got the supporters out there for Jason Douglas. Stephen Kennedy from M1 Racing will be the first to head on out. And unfortunately, if you guys can see that the traffic lights at the top, I have this horrible feeling that it's going to be there throughout this whole broadcast.
Overlay. Refresh SDK or something. And it was there for me and it disappeared. So
let's have a look. As Stephen Kennedy will head out for his warm-up lap.
Being very careful at the moment on his warm-up lap, not to excite the tyres too much. Don't want to use up all that grip that he has already on fresh rubber.
That's
getting ready to start his lap now.
Scotty Rattler Van Loon jumping into the chat there, mate, saying g'day lads, g'day Rattler.
Didn't call his name in the outside of that qualifying session.
No, that's true. Is he out on track? Stephen Kennedy coming round the first of the top 10 shootout tonight for M1 Racing. Jump on board for Warren and Brad Tools cockpit cam.
Had to really have a second grab of the throttle there and downshift to third coming through turn one. Modulates the throttle just to keep the car tucked in nice and tight. On the inside of the corner, then picks up the throttle on the exit. There'll be a spot where we'll see drivers get a little bit tail happy as the car comes unweighted over the crest. Runs very deep into turn three through the top of the hill here now. Run down the hill for a little bit of a switchback section here to see how light the cars get as they come over the rise. Old sixth with a fast sweep up and down through turn 9, the final corner. Oh, runs it all the way out on the exit.
No. He's going to keep pushing through though. Did he get an X for that? He didn't. And we'll lock in at 115.
I think it'll be an X if you do run all four wheels or more than half the car off the track there. So, but I think a lot of the off tracks here will be very much self-penalising. So as well as copping the X, you're gonna have to cop a bit of off-road action. Definitely lots of opposite lock will be needed whilst you're off track.
Mr. Kennedy.
There you going?
Good, mate. Yourself?
Oh, could have done better, I reckon.
Could have done better, mate. Hey, look, at least you kept it on the track and made it around one lap.
Oh, I struggled the first couple of corners, I tell you.
But,
Yeah, it looked like you pushed a little bit deep into turn one. Then you had to sort of, back out of the throttle and downshift.
Yeah,
and drive
I did. I don't think I should have, the outlap should have been a bit quicker, I think. Warm the tyres up a bit more. But anyway, live and learn.
We will see what happens for the rest of the drivers and see if you can't capitalise. Definitely.
Well, I couldn't do any worse than Temp, so.
No, exactly. I was saying that in the commentary. Just it's a bit of a send-it track. So, look, mate, we wish you the best of luck tonight. Hopefully, you can surge a bit further forward.
Okay, thanks, mate. Catch you later.
Right, we usually do have another car out on track. Not sure what's happening here. But we haven't received our second driver. Oh, there we go. Reese to go. He is now leaving the pits for his out lap. Wonder if he's going to be as gentle on it as Kennedy was.
R88 has a black flag and will start 10th. So
interesting. That's what I was doing. I was doing the exact same thing. So car 88 is the LMI driver.
So hence why Reese to go is now out. So starting 10th for Jace. Unfortunately, that's not where he would want to be starting, but that's no worse than what he could do.
Gentlemen. So to inform everybody, the black flag for car 88 is an iRacing black flag, which unfortunately in the rules, if he gets an iRacing black flag during qualifying, that sticks and he will start 10th.
That was our race director, Tyson McAvoy, dropping in just to let us know what happened with that black flag as Reese de Groe starts his hot lap here tonight. Thanks for Tyson for coming in and clearing that up for us.
Also had to have a bit of a second stab at the throttle there. Through turn 1, very easy through turn 2, just making sure that the car groups up on the exit. Turn 3 now. Purple through the first sector.
Gosh, look how bumpy it is coming up over the top there.
Through Budweiser balcony.
That's a great name.
First the car run out. So I think that's turn 7. Now through turn 8 on the run down this back straight.
2 purple sectors so far on a flyer.
Really deliberate on keeping the rolling speed through the corner up by just grabbing some throttle early. Run up to the line now. See what he can do. It's orange through the third sector does go faster, so on a 15.3. So has improved his result. He's improved the mark that we've set. Reese, mate, well done. Is this your first top 10 shootout this season?
I made one maybe the first season of the year, I think.
Oh, okay. So this year, it's not your first this year, but definitely your first this season. So well done, mate, on making it into the top 10.
Thank you.
That lap looked really neat and tidy.
A little bit sloppy up the hill, I understeered, coming towards the top apex, and tried to make it up down the hill. Wasn't too bad, and then sort of understeered again at that left-hander. But not too bad, I suppose.
It's not too bad, mate. We've had reports over the last couple of weeks of a bit of a slippery track. Was it the same tonight?
A little bit. I don't think I got enough heat to my tyres. That's probably why I understeered going up the hill, I think. But
rightio, mate.
It is a bit slippery, yeah.
Yeah. All right, mate. Well, good luck tonight. You're sitting pretty there on a 15.3, so hopefully that lap time can hold up.
Cool. Cheers, guys.
Jumping to Tim Nicol now. He's just started his lap. Goes very deep into turn 2. Manages to pull it back. Takes a little bit of a later apex. Picks up the throttle nicely. Doesn't run all the way out to the edge of the track. Sacrifices the exit. Make sure you can get a good entry through here. Uphill. Car back across to the right-hand side. Now run back down the hill. Out of the balcony. A little bit of push out the corner there. Purple through the first sector. Let's see what he pulls up through the second. It's also a purple second sector. Looking strong at the moment. Just modulating that throttle pedal to keep the car where he wants it to be. Maintain the rolling speed. Through the final corner now. He's up the throttle nicely. Gets a nice early gear shift, so might be a little bit lower in the gears through there. Does go purple through the final sector. And it's a 15.003 to put himself right up the top. Gap Reese by 3.5 tenths. So very strong lap there from Tim. Tim, mate, that's a nice lap.
Thanks, boys. Yeah, she's a tricky track. Track temp's dropping too, so the faster guys will definitely be quicker at the end of this session.
Right, so that's something to keep our eyes on.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of a taste of what Willow Springs is like. What was it like practicing, and how much is there still to learn for you?
I think tonight will be about consistency. Trying to keep the tyres. Don't overcook the tyres. It's a pretty heavy track on. Busy all the time. The biggest thing is going to be the last sweeper. I don't know what corner number it is, but it's actually not running wide on that. If you run wide on it, there's actually nothing you can do to save it. You're actually going to hit the wall. So, yeah, it's a pretty risky track. You can make a little mistake will end your race, unfortunately.
Rightio, mate. Well, we wish you luck tonight, and hopefully you can bang home some consistency and fight your way through the field.
No worries, guys. Thank you.
Good luck, mate.
Cheers.
Forward now with Troy Dooley, the 333. Up over the top section of the track. Again, you can just see how bumpy this track is. It's going to be very interesting once all the cars get out there together.
Been really neat and tidy this lap. He looked probably the best through turn one. Might not have been the fastest, but definitely looked the most calm and composed. I don't think he was that far off through sector one. Sector two still away as well. A little bit further away than Stephen Kennedy through the first and second sectors. Runs wide, that'll be an off track, and that will be the end of his lap.
Unfortunate. That is the corner where I saw during practice and qualifying, giving a lot of drivers a hard time there.
Unfortunately, Troy loses out there and won't have a lap time set. Troy, mate, unfortunate through that last sector that you run off track.
Yeah, just overcooked it a little bit. A lot.
Were you trying to make up lap time? And that's through that final sector you were pushing a little bit harder?
No, I thought I had the my acceleration point sorted, but probably just the tyres were a little bit colder than normal, so you just drifted.
All right, mate. Well, unfortunate that you couldn't end up getting a lap in, but with Jace's outcome, you can start no worse than ninth. So hopefully that's a good result, and we'll see how you go tonight.
Challenge set. Cheers, mate.
On to Chris Burridge now. Looked nice through turn one. Turn two, just modulated the throttle pedal nicely. Just maintaining that throttle percentage all the way through until he can bury it on the exit. 24.9 through the first sector, so there or thereabouts with his teammate. Hardest I've seen anyone run through the balcony section.
Green first sector, purple second. He is moving. That's definitely moving.
Definitely is. Does he get the final corner right? Grabs the curb, runs it out in the dirt.
No, a repeat.
Can't hold on to it.
Can he keep it away from the
Unfortunately,
wall?
fishtails all the way up. So unfortunately, that will be an invalid lap. And the amount of damage on that car, very unfortunate. Chris, mate, unfortunate to not finish that lap, mate.
No.
Looked like you grabbed a little bit of the inside curb in the final corner.
Yep, visual bounced me wide. That was it. No good.
Your lap time was looking pretty strong up until then, so you've definitely got pace in the car, but just maybe a little bit of consistency throughout the race is what you'll be chasing.
Yep, for sure. Yeah. There's a couple of corners on here. If you get too wide, that's it, sort of thing. So, yeah, no luck.
All right, mate. Well, at least you're having a good laugh, and look, mate, you made a top 10 shootout, and that's probably all that matters.
Yeah.
Worst you can be is 8th, I think. So hopefully that's a good result moving forward.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
No worries, mate.
It was interesting having new guys drop into the comms box that we don't really get to talk to very often. I feel like there's a bit of stage fright every now and again.
Maybe a little bit of stage fright, but also maybe a little bit of a different attitude. Like he was just having a giggle at his mistake, and that's the kind of light-hearted attitude that I think a lot of the AMs have enjoyed having with all the other drivers. Is like there's a lot on the table, and a lot of people are really pushing and are trying to show what they've got, but at the same time, people are just having some fun with it and just enjoying the atmosphere and the environment that they're in. Liam tipping next car. Turn 1, heavy on the brakes. Gets the car tucked in, maybe half a car width off the apex where he'd like to be, just fighting with the steering wheel a little bit. You can see the car twitching under brakes, just modulating that brake pedal in, and then just keeping the car tucked in nice and tight on the right-hand side. Keeping it in the rubber tracks all the way out to the left-hand side. Further, we've seen anyone that does represent on his lap time there through that first sector, 24.5. So faster than Tim Nicol can manage. Lots of track used through this second sector so far. Doesn't run too far over that inside curb. That's 6, now through 7, over the rise. He had a lot of throttle percentage, had to catch the car. What will that do for his second sector? It's pretty quick. It's a 10th up on what Tim Nicol has managed. Lots of throttle through turn 8. Into turn 9 now. Picked up a decent amount of throttle percentage nice and early. Straight lines it for the start-finish line. Comes across. Does go top on a 14.926. Just a little bit away, half a tenth or so away from what Tim Nicol can manage through the final sector. Liam, mate, well done on that lap. That was nice and neat and tidy and pretty fast as well.
Yeah, it's hard work, that track. There's a lot of bumps and that going on. Probably could have been a little bit quicker through that kink in the back straight, but I knew I'd had a pretty good first half of the lap, so I just wanted to kind of finish it off and not lose any time that I didn't have to.
Yeah, mate, it certainly looked like a very committed lap coming up over the rise through turn 7 where you're just about to come now. You definitely had the car a little bit sideways on the exit, but it was good theatre, and well done, mate, on that lap time. That'll be a good result.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good race. I think I'd be, if I was you guys, I'd just keep an eye on that pit entry, because I can see some dramas there, because you got to hit the brake right on the racing line to get into the pits. So I think it will be very tricky. I think most people will be trying to pit when they have no one behind them.
All right, mate. Well, we'll keep our eyes on that one for sure. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Darren Crosby just locked up a brake into turn 3. It was already a little bit further away from the ideal lap time into turn 1. Sorry, through sector 1. So just got to bring the car home now. Don't over push it. The important thing to remember here is that you're not chasing lap time now. You're chasing just setting a lap time. There's a lot of time lost through sector 2. You lost almost 2 seconds through sector 2, so a lot of time to make up around a track like this. You'll come across the stripe now. Joe's come across with a 16.6. So a second away from what Kennedy managed. But Darren, mate, saw a little lock up into turn 3, and that really ended your chances at making your way further forward. But at least you set a lap time, and you can start in front of the boys who go invalid.
Yeah, the boys are finding it a bit tough on this track, and yeah, I just missed my brake marker, and she locked up and couldn't do much about it. But that's racing, isn't it?
That is new track, new environment to learn. Have you enjoyed learning this track? Is it a fun track to drive?
Yeah, no, definitely enjoying it. It's like a mini Nürburgring, so yeah, it's good fun. Bouncy and bumpy and different cambers on the road. It's good to learn.
All right, mate. Well, hopefully you've done all the practice you need to try and surge your way forward, and we'll see what comes out at the end of this quali session.
Yeah, I hope it's better than last week. But yeah, thank you.
Good luck, mate.
Thanks.
Jordan McDonald now. Nice and smooth through turn two there. Only half a tenth away from the fastest first sector we've seen.
See how tight he cut that through there compared to the other drivers so far. Keeping it extremely tight.
Juicy amount of work out to do over the crest there. Bangs in fastest second sector by almost 2/10. This is looking good on the cumulative time. Brakes in a straight line for the final corner. Slowly advances the throttle. In the compression, runs no more track on the exit to use. Comes across the line. This will be a very strong lap time. And it is. It's a 14.790. Puts himself up there in P1 by just over a tenth of a second. Jordan, mate, well done on that lap. That was very impressive.
Yeah, cheers. I don't know when I'm going to lose these jitters, man. They just they keep plaguing me. It's frustrating.
I think it comes from doing a lot of these top 10 shootouts and giving you pace in qualifying. I think that I would hope that those jitters will go by the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we make it to the end of the season. We'll see how tonight goes, and yeah, it'll be nice. I don't like the feeling of it. You know, you're trying to do your absolute best, and you're just sitting there shaking, and it's good, but it's like it's concentrating. You know, you leave a bit on the table just because you can't maximize everything. You know.
Well, mate. Look, I wish you luck tonight. It looks like it's going to be a great race, and you got a bit of competition with Joe coming up behind you.
Yeah, it should be good. Obviously, this track's, you know, like being so fast and flowy, I think it makes the field a little bit more bunched up, which would be cool, you know, to have a good race with these guys. So I think the wind is really high as well, so we might have a bit of a drafting competition halfway through the race, or you know, even the whole race if it is. But it could also lead to some fuel saving if I happen to be in the behind the cars rather than leading. So we'll see. I got a 5-place grid penalty anyway coming up, so I'll be starting out of 5th if I manage to keep the pole. But I don't know. You guys can see the splits. How's Joe looking? Is he going to pop me or what?
He's looking very good at the moment. His first split was almost a full 10 faster than you managed, so he's looking very strong at the moment.
Yeah, he might pit me here, but no, it'll be a good race. I'll start out of P6, I think, if he does get me here. So we'll see what happens.
Alrighty, mate, good luck. We're going to call the final corner here for Joe. Cumulatively, he's right on top of what Jordan McDonald managed. Coming across the line now, going as short as he can to try and make up all the time. Comes across. Just tops in behind on a 14.862. It's less than a tenth of a second, leading Jordan and Joe. Marginally. Oh!
What?
And all.
All right, that was fantastic. Can we?
Joe, mate. Joe, you might be muted there, mate.
Hello.
Joe, that was... Sorry, we're just watching your jump back at the end of the lap. Oh, mate, P2 by less than a tenth of a second. That's... you will start on pole. That's the first thing I'll say. You will start on pole tonight. So you've banged in a lap time that was very, very impressive. It was so tight. Just that final sector, just a tenth away from what Jordan managed.
Really? Oh, right. I lost in the... Yeah, okay. I reckon I lost a tenth and a half through the middle sector over the top of the hill.
You were the fastest through the middle sector, I think.
I cost myself time. That really tight right-hander at the top of the hill, you've got to go tighter and square up the exit and just floor it. Because if you're going wide, you have delays you're getting on the throttle. So I reckon that's where I think I lost all my time there. So, but I'll take it. I'm pretty happy with that. And hence, the jump at the end. I'm just, trying to change my mindset coming into Tuesday nights. I could not switch on last week. Whatever I did, I just could not do it. And I wasn't happy. And, hence why I made a few mistakes. And not saying I'm not going to make mistakes tonight, but I think I'll
just embrace the mistakes, mate.
Bit better.
Just embrace mistakes. Like you're a champion in the AM series. You're the reigning champion. Like your performance last season was outstanding. And we know how much extra you do now. All the extra series and all the extra things you do on the side. So I think that if this is just a bit of fun, a bit of competition for you, a bit of practice and whatnot, I think that's a great mentality to have, to be honest. Look, you are starting off the front row, so I think that's going to be a great result either way. You're starting out a pole for this race, so hopefully you can surge your way forward and just watch out for the cars behind. Probably having clear track around here in front of you, so a bit of clean air will be helpful.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine how it'll go through the middle of the pack. So I'll practice my race starts as soon as we get into that warm up, and just the first lap will be chaos, and just try and settle in and enjoy it. I actually really enjoyed just pottering around last week. There's something about this place. As soon as I grabbed a setup and started driving around here, it's you got to hold on, and it rewards the brave, but when it goes bad in a big way. So it could be interesting to see what happens here.
I'm expecting there to be a lot of tired drivers after an hour around here tonight. So, mate, we'll let you go. We'll let you go and get yourself all set up, get some practice starts in, get yourself a bite to eat and a drink of water, because it's going to be a crazy hour-long race here.
Yeah, I'm going to look forward to watching you blokes back commentating this. So cheers, guys, and I'll hopefully see you at the end.
All right, mate. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Alrighty, as we go back and we have a look through our qualifying results, Jordan McDonald did set the fastest time, but unfortunately with that 5-place group penalty, we'll start from 5th. Joe Marnie instead will take pole position. Liam Tipping will start up alongside him, which will be a race on Oz 1-2. Tim Nicol will start out of 3 alongside Reese DeGoey, and then alongside Jordan McDonald, and then it'll be Stephen Kennedy and Darren Crosby. And then looking further back, I think it will end up being Chris Burridge, Troy Dooley, and Jason Douglas, who will start out of 8, 9, and 10. We'll grab another quick break here and be back with you very, very shortly for the 60-minute race that is to come around this wonderful Willow Springs circuit. Catch you soon.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannon's. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannon's. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Thanks for sticking with us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and people of all ages. We will be back very soon with our 60-minute race here tonight.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannon's. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannon's. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannon's. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannon's insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannon's.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
And we are back live here for our 60-minute race with the SimRigs V8 Supercars AM series. Thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. This is round 5 at Willow Springs. Thank you for sticking with us through that longer than expected intermission while we got the race server organised. A lot of movements on the grid due to qualifying penalties. Had to be manually set up by our race director tonight. But we are back, and the drivers do have a little bit of practice time to try and get more, equipped with this server, this track. Show us what they can really do. We had a few guys during the top 10 say that they're going to be very interested to see how the pit entry and exit works during this race. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on that. Over the top, what was it called? The Budweiser balcony?
Yes, the Bud balcony, yes.
We want to keep an eye on that and the final corner coming down towards the finish line. I think they are going to be the 3 main spots we will keep an eye on tonight.
I think it's going to be difficult to watch every corner because there's going to be chaos.
Hold my beer. All right, so we do have about 7 minutes left of this practice session. We've got our race director out there cutting some laps as well. Thanks to the promo department for the help with our safety car. Aaron Leopard joining us. Thanks for dropping in, Aaron, saying go Ty Delaney. Unfortunately, mate, I don't think he's out here tonight. He's not. I don't see him in the server. Did you see him through qualifying? Preach.
You've done so well, ShiBBy, and then you come and drop a pricey on me. You told me you had trouble with remembering Greenie over pricey, and now you've thrown... Oh.
It's Ryan Price and Ryan Green. That one's easy to get mixed up.
And then you've gone Preach and Pricey. Like, oh, my days.
Did you read in the Discord what I said? I said, I'm the guy in comms. I get to decide whose names are what. It definitely seems that way sometimes.
This user has disconnected.
Yeah, yep, I feel like that some days. I'm pushing myself a bit at the moment, and I'm actually going to be... Oh, hold the brakes, Cowie. That dirt. So I'm actually going to be
a lot of that.
Yeah. Out of that last corner onto the straight, I definitely think we're going to see a lot of that. So I actually will be back on comms every night of this week and running all the broadcasts for you lovely people out there. So I will be joining Andrew Cowan from Performance Sim Racing in the comms box tomorrow night for our Shannon's Formula 3 Nationals. So that is going to be super exciting.
So there is Preach, there is Cowie, there is Greenie, and there is Steve.
Yeah, and Hamish. Hamish comms as well. He's our other producer, but I don't work with him. Not on comms.
No. But I'm going through who you're going to be working with this week.
Yeah, yep. So I just call them all Preach, right?
Cowie tomorrow night, Greenie on Thursday night, and Steve on Sunday.
Yeah, yep. We got a good little team building. Apart from I feel like I don't get nights off. The love of the sport, hey? The love of the sport. Travis Nielsen has really picked up his game in the last couple of, towards the end of last season and now coming into this season, really starting to drive quite well and getting himself up in there into the mid-pack battles now. When he first started racing with us was sort of at the back of the packs, sort of learning the craft of the V8 supercars. We see a couple of cars really get wide there.
2 safety cars on the track too.
Oh, they are both on the track. Oh, I didn't even realise. So yeah, Tyson and who's our other one out there? Daniel Fritz. Fritzy is out there in the standard looking promo department car. We know when Tyson is the race director because he has those lovely red and purple marks. Ray Douglas has chimed in. Said Jace is angry after not being able to qualify. Well, he did get to qualify, mate. Unfortunately, that was an iRacing black flag. That wasn't handed down by any of our officials. So he did sort of get to qualify. He does start 5th on the grid in the 5th row, which is a really great spot to be in, especially when there's 27 cars on track. But he does say, so he should do okay through the race. So you reckon use that aggression, mate, and get out there and really stick it to the track, yeah? Feeling a calm head does me better. We've only got just under 3 minutes left of this practice session. The grid will be going live. And we will be getting ready to get set and go racing here for your simrings.com V8 Supercars AM series. With the best of our amateurs battle it out every Tuesday night over a 9-round season. Oh, there it is over the top. The Budweiser balcony. You see Jace come off the side there. It's definitely going to be a tricky spot for these drivers tonight.
Broken the back of the series.
We've broken it.
Well, we are the middle race of the series. 5 races in.
Yeah, we are. Yep.
We have 4 races to go. Takes us through the rest of August. Winton next week. Which now I was thinking, whilst I got Winton on my mind, I was thinking about what this track is similar to, and I've come up with one. It's got a bit of a Barbagallo about it. Undulation, bumps. Oh, that's a big hit. Yeah, I've got a bit of Barbagallo about it. Got the undulation, it's got the bumps. It's quick. It's at a high speed. I'm gonna go Barbagallo. Chat, let us know what other tracks you think this is like from watching at home, whether you've driven it or not. Anyway, we've got Winton next week. Then we go to Oschersleben. Then we go to the Red Bull Ring. And then we finish off with an Enduro at Jerez. Very much looking forward for the 3 Euro tracks to finish as well. Across 3 different formats. Red Bull Ring is another one of these normal weekend formats. 60-minute race with the top 10 shootout. And then the Enduro, which is an 80-minute race with the top 10 shootout as well. Coming up to the end of this practice session now. Everyone should have been doing some standing starts. Make sure they know what to expect for the rest of the race.
Practice session is over. All the drivers are now in the session, getting ready to grid up. We will be getting live into this race any minute, as we will see the grid come up on screen. Now in row 1 will be Joe Mahoney for Race on Oz. Sitting next to him will be Liam Tipping. Tim Nickel for Quantum Pecky's Performance, and Reese to Go for Performance Sim Racing will be on row 2. Jordan McDonald and Stephen Kennedy roll row 3. Darren Crosby for M1 Racing and Chris Barrage, his teammate, will be on row 4. Troy Dooley for Team 3 and Jason Douglas from LMR Esports will wind out your top 10. Everybody else is gridded in the position where they finished during the qualifying. That was Travis Daly, Bruce White, Petar Pavlovich, Troy Sipple, Craig Healy, Callan Hodgkinson, Scott Weston, Andrew Cowan, Travis Nielsen, Todd Martin, Stephen Sinkovich, Brett Taylor, Mark Peck, and we are getting ready to go. No mucking around here, and
They're
are
off and racing. Liam Tipping gets a good start from the inside of row 1. Nickel looking up, looking dangerous on the outside. Everyone's streaming through turn 1 nice and clean at the moment. Lots of 2x2. There's a bit of 3 wide action further back. Everyone getting through here nice and cleanly. So Marnie does hold out over Tipping. And then it's Nickel, McDonald, Crosby, DeGoey, Kennedy, Douglas, Dooley and Burridge. That's top 10 early off the start of this lap. Douglas looking up the inside. I think there might have been contact there. Manages to just avoid sending another driver off track at the moment. Everyone getting through here nice and clean. Looks like DeGoey's made up a little bit of ground on Crosby as well from the start. Douglas is still going side by side. Going on in the back. Dooley has been run off the track. It looks like maybe it was Nielsen involved as well. Further back there. It looked like the Simrigs car had been going off as well. Cowan up 5 spots already into 13th, so got a good start.
Gets really loose.
Yep, just had to catch the car a little bit before he could get back on power.
Brett Taylor here in front of Mark Peck on the back of Craig Healy.
Peck's around. Picked up the throttle a bit too much, I think. Unless there was contact with another driver involved in that. Doesn't look like there was any contact. Unfortunately, looking backwards to Jordan McDonald here from Tim Nickel.
This is going to be an extremely interesting race. Very tame at this moment. Not sure how long that's going to last, with the majority of the pack sitting on top of each other. Darren Crosby being hunted by Reese DeGoey. Jordan right in front of them. Let's see just how close this field is. 3 laps in. Fastest time by Mahoney, 1:15.093. Mahoney and his teammate Liam Tipping are out in front and definitely wanting to push that gap away. JTIT Race on Oz duo. They don't need to battle each other. They can keep that clean air and keep moving forwards. We know Tim Nickel is no slouch, and he has Jordan right on the back of him. So these two would probably want to push forwards instead of battling each other. Jordan, looking like he was going to go on the outside there.
I think that Tim had a bit of a not ideal run through turn 3 and turn 4. But he's going to get swooped by 2 cars heading into turn 8.
Jordan will get round there really easy. Has already pulled a gap on him. Is Tim Nickel struggling with something? Look at the gap that Jordan's pulled away from him, and the rest of the pack, DeGoey, Douglas, Burridge, Kennedy.
I think Tim was out of position, and Jordan had managed to get a really great run up the inside, and that put Tim out on the dirty stuff, so he had to come right out of the throttle, and that's why he's lost a lot of ground relative to Jordan there. Jordan is starting to really range up onto the back of Liam Tipping, though, quite quickly. So a couple of drivers who are moving around in the order. Dooley, who is down 12 spots at the moment. Craig Healy's down to 13.
Dooley had that spin at the beginning, which we will jump back and have a look at that at some point in this broadcast. Times are still relatively close to each other, but starting to stretch. Although, as I jump away from Jace Douglas from LMR Esports, he has now glued himself to the back of DeGoey. DeGoey looking like he might have got a better run out of that corner because Jace just drops off the pack a little bit. Travis Daly here for Performance Sim Racing, battling it out with Craig Healy for GMK Logistics as Daly goes down the inside, down the home straight. This will be a drag race to turn one. Daly has got the lead at the moment, has the rights to this corner. Healy will slot back in and just let that move go. They are catching up quickly to Travis Nielsen. It's going to be a Travis on Travis battle. Just ahead of them is Scott Weston now battling it out with Callan Hodgkinson from Crisscross Racing. See on our timing table just how close the battles and the field is tonight. Jace again sticking himself to the back of DeGoey. Gonna put the nose out, try and get down the inside through the sweeping S's. Jace will squeeze himself just in front of DeGoey. DeGoey hasn't gone anywhere now. Barrage is down the side of DeGoey. Will slot in behind. They're going to get all that draft assistance. Two M1 racing cars working together here to work their way through the pack. Tim Nickel keeping Darren Crosby from M1 Racing at bay. Question is for how long? We're already 6 laps into this hour race. Scott Weston now side by side with Hodgkinson again. There's too many battles happening on screen right now.
Those battles, I don't even know where to look. ShiBBy trying to keep up with what's going on throughout the field, and there's a lot of changes going on. Pavlovich is off track. Does get back on. Daly had to take evasive action.
Dare say that might be called in. Not the cleanest re-entry, but look at this battle pack.
I'd say it was a fine re-entry. He re-entered parallel to the track, and it just so happened that there was a massive train of cars, and unfortunately Travis just ended up being in the worst position. Callan getting really deep under brakes, trying to get a good run. Tips 2 wheels into the dirt.
Hodgkinson just keeping a gap. Look at this line of cars here. Marty Hansen is around Brett Taylor. That moves Hansen up into P19.
Pavlovich got up the inside of Nielsen there too. Further back at the back of this train. 6 seconds now from Sipple to White. So this train is starting to really fall off the back. Hodgkinson 2 wheels in the dirt again.
Cowan is going to take advantage of that. Had the advantage, still will stick it through though. Keeps it nice and tight on the inside. Can he hold it through here?
Outside. Down the hill now. Cowie with a switchback. And we'll get that move done.
Great move by Andrew Cowan from Performance Sim Racing there.
What were we worried about overtakes, Phil?
We
were worried.
Something.
Oh no, Marnie's off.
That's a big off track. He is falling down the table right now. And he's just staying on the dirt. I hope, and now he's turned. I'm hoping he didn't have any sort of mechanical malfunction with his sim gear.
No, I think what he's actually done is tried to rejoin safely. Oh, it's Petar off.
No, Marty Hansen.
Oh, sorry, Marty Hansen. It looked like Petar Pavlovich.
Did a bit, yeah. Was the
much orange relative to blue carpet. Yeah, Joe will be very angry with himself there. That was not the spot he wanted to be in at all. This far back down the field now. Cowan battling with Weston. Nielsen right up behind as well.
Great battle starting to flow through this rear battle pack all the way through to the mids. Up the top, Tipping is pushing as hard as he can to try and keep off the back of McDonald. No, said it wrong. Off the back of Jordan. Keep Jordan off the back of him, and without his teammate now there, it's going to be even harder to defend from any attacks made by Jordan.
Well, Tipping was P2. So Joe was leading the race and just unfortunately probably went off track on the left-hand side at the last corner, and unfortunately had to catch it and ended up not hitting the fence from what I can see, but was a long way off track as a result.
Managed to get himself back on track, and he is sitting in P17. Definitely has the pace to get back around a lot of these drivers, but it's very congested here at the back.
The chance of a safety car though is pretty high given how risky it is offline.
Whoa, as we jump to
catching
Patar.
the slide.
Travis Daly from Performance Sim Racing right on the back of Petar Pavlovich. Jordan McDonald now hassling Liam Tipping for P1. Tim Nicol and Darren Crosby not far off the back of them either. Everybody just waiting in line to see who makes the first mistake. Oh, as we see Jordan get a little bit crossed up and into the dirt, his right left tyre went. Cowan is now around Sipple.
Four-car battle for the lead here. Back to Cowan and then back to the front. 4 cars, 2 Holdens, 2 Fords. 4 different teams as well. Race on Oz, Maverick Sim Sports, Quantum Pecky's Performance, and M1 Racing. So the different lines that everyone's taking there, trying to maximise the run they can. Here we go. Crosby's probably got the best run out of all of them. Got the slipstream on Nicol. McDonald is going to look to the outside of Tipping. Both brake as late as they can. Both give just enough space. Crosby has gotten through on Nicol. McDonald is trying to look for a bit of an outside under on Tipping, but he needs to be careful that doesn't open him up to an attack from Crosby, who's really found a burst of speed now that he can get some slipstream assistance. I think McDonald just really being careful. Crosby was up the inside of McDonald and Crosby got pushed onto the curb.
That's actually allowed Liam to start making a move. Sort of slowed them down behind him. Troy Dooley is around and has ended himself up in P23.
Still running though at the moment. Donald has to be careful of Crosby looking now.
Battle happening again with Stephen Kennedy and Bruce White for P8 as well. Another one of the M1 racing teams. Bruce White, Stephen Kennedy, Reese to Goey. The battle for P7. Tsar Pavlovich side by side with Travis Daly. Until the corner comes and he will just slot back in. Crosby really starting to hassle. See the pressure that Kennedy and White are starting to put onto the back of Reese to Goey.
With that clear air on his last lap to the far, did his personal best of a 15.8. See if he can improve it now. Know that mark. Wasn't quite, but he's certainly finding a little bit of speed now. We see Weston diving up the inside of Hodgkinson here for 18th. Can't quite get the nose up far enough. We'll get up there on the exit. Callan holds on. Better drive out of the corner. Scott has to be careful. Got Brett Taylor right up behind him here. Oh, a little bit of nose to tail it looked like there. Callan's been pushed off the track. Callan was off track on the left-hand side there. I think there might have been contact with Callan and Scott Weston there. Jump back towards this battle for 7th place. Goey, Kennedy and White, well, within half a tenth of each other.
Something's happened with Cowan. He's falling down the field. He's already lost 5 spots.
So Cowan was off track for almost 10 seconds of time there. So has bled a lot of lap time. McDonald is back towards Crosby. We'll see a replay here of what's happened to Cowie. So coming down the hill here, just locks the front. The car slips wide. A long way off track there, trying to get back on, trying to avoid the water. Does just. Marshall post there, just avoids it. Cowie is coming to the pits as a result. Pavlovich trying to go around the outside of Daly here. Making it work. This is through turn 2. Kept his nose in there nicely. Unfortunately, has the tighter line into turn 3. And with how tight the corner is, that's unfortunately not going to work for him. Just try and get a little bit of run off the exit. 4 and 5, can't quite do it. That's the balcony, and then down through 6 here. Crosby still on the back of McDonald. A little further up the field. Cowan coming out now. Unfortunately ending up a lap down, which will hurt his time immensely, but that's because of how short the lap is. So might be a story about drivers getting stuck in lap traffic leading up to a pit stop here. Drive-through penalty for cars 052 with contact on lap 11 at turn 5.
It's the car Scott Weston. The driver Scott Weston.
Yeah, so that would have been contact with I think it was with Callan Hodgkinson, who was way off the track. You see Dooley battling with Martin here. Dooley does get up the inside nicely. That 3 Mustang. Nichols just fallen off the back of the 3 front runners. He's got back to 1.5 off the back. That would have been caught up with Cowan coming out of the pits, I would think. So White has managed to get past Kennedy since we were last with this battle.
Kennedy's had an off track. Oh my gosh, how did he catch that?
That's a big catch.
And not take out. That's Travis, right? No, that's not Travis. That's Reese in front of him.
No, Bruce White in front.
White. Wow. That could have been the first safety car of the night. Darren is still hassling Jordan. Will not let him go. Oh no!
Oh,
Tipping's off.
That's a long way off. Use the banking, mate.
It's just mud. It's not even slowing these cars down. And that's it, the last corner of the track. Tipping is plummeting down. It is so hard. And
he decides to pit.
Take the pits while he can.
Trying to gain some time back through the pit stops. Hanson chasing Healy now. It's one of these GMK Logistics cars. East West Racing. Noel now needs to be careful because Crosby's going to come charging at him for the lead here.
The fuel percentage tonight. They had a fuel restriction of 45%. Sort of would expect. Oh, did McDonald make a mistake there and have to pull into the pits at last minute, or was that trying to trick Darren out to see if he would follow him in or not?
Doesn't say that Jordan went off track, so maybe this is strategic. We are past the usual 20-minute mark that we normally say for these races, where that's when you can pit. It's when we expect them to pit. So looks like in and around 20-second pit stop times at the moment.
Donald, Kennedy, Douglas, Nielsen, and Peck all in the pits. With Darren Crosby to your provisional P1. Ray Douglas chiming in at the worst time. Says Jace is up to 5th, Jet. He's angry just as he pit. And moved all the way back down the field into 13th. But yes, he was up into 5th at that point.
Crosby staying out another lap is interesting. He's got good fuel mileage. Maybe just a little bit of time though, he could save some fuel in behind another car as the sun takes effect here.
Nickel, Burridge, DeGoey, White, all flowing through the pits now. You can see there how close these cars get to using all that track. Pavlovich will go through.
Oh, did he pull that up? That's the question. Did he manage to pull that up then?
Brett will go through. Jordan's already been through. Coming around now. Will move himself up into provisional P4. Jace Douglas now coming through. Gets himself back up into that P5 before he took pits. So that was a really well played strategy by Jace.
Coming up, Travis Daly has got a penalty for speeding in pit lane. Yellow flag in sector 3.
Joe Marnie still holding the fastest lap time for this session with a 1:14.8.
Crosby is in the pits.
Let's see how this plays out for Crosby. Had a 30-second gap. Back to Mahoney. Sipple and Hansen are both in now as well. So Jordan. Crosby had a big gap though.
I don't know if it's going to be enough. No, it won't be enough.
He's out of the pits.
Jordan.
He's out. He's on his way out. Oh, he's just going to slot in behind him. Not a bad place to end up. Jace Douglas will move into third. Tim Nichols.
Douglas has made big gains.
Yeah, really well played.
So big undercut for Jace relative to Darren and Tim. I mean, I say big, it's only a lap, but that's still a fair margin. Like, given this is a timed race, not a lap race, need to try and start gapping because we get a safety car here. All that gap disappears. Burridge has done really nicely to be up there in P5. Just run his own quiet little race. Haven't really said much of him so far. Not gelling well with him in this car and track combo. Craig Healy challenging Sipple.
Hardy Hansen driving really well tonight. Was up 14 spots before the pit stop started rolling through. Came out of the pits. He's still up 9 positions.
They're running a very nice, smooth race so far. Most of these EWR GMK cars are doing very nicely indeed. And just running their own race, not getting themselves into too much trouble. See Tipping and Kennedy going at it now.
Pavlovich still on the back of Nielsen. Nielsen up 8 spots into P11. Tar won't let him get away too easy. Looking like he's following him very, very nicely through all these corners. Kennedy on the back of him. Douglas with Nickel on the back of him. Looks like Batar might be trying to make a move here. Will get down the inside of Nielsen and take that spot for P11, but it looks like Nielsen is trying to fire back at him. Just got a little bit loose around that corner. Dropped off the back a little bit, but he might have that draft assistance here down into turn 1.
Not quite enough to be able to get up the inside. Nielsen just dips 2 wheels off. That'll invite Sipple up. Nichols still on the back of Douglas here. Big gains on the brakes. Bit of contact, I think.
There, it looks like Jace has had to really get on the brakes to save himself from going off track. Well, Jace just got on the brakes a lot earlier.
And we'll be saying thank you very much for getting that spot. Oh, that was McDonald who was off the track in the back of that replay. McDonald has fallen off the track through the last corner. And he went a long way off track. See a replay here of exactly what's happened. So coming through the last corner now, gets on the brakes, maybe a little deep. Yep, just grabs too much speed. Runs all the way off.
Like a BMX track out on the outfield there. McDonald now back into 9th spot on the back of Bruce White for LMR Esports. He's definitely going to want to push to see how far he can get up as we are halfway through this race. Battles starting to appear everywhere again. Sipple, Nielsen, Hansen, Healy, White, DeGoey. McDonald will get himself around White. Back to Sipple. This battle between Sipple and Nielsen has invited Healy, Hansen and Dooley in onto this. Made it a 5-car battle for P11 because Petar Pavlovic is just in front of him. Adi Hansen for GMK Logistics driving extremely well tonight. Keeping it nice and smooth. Jace Douglas up in P3, up 7 positions. Followed by Chris Burridge, Liam Tipping, Stephen Kennedy on board with Tipping now. As the M1 Racing driver hassles the JTIT on Oz driver. Darren Crosby, teammates of the M1 Racing. Pretty comfortable lead at the moment with 7-second gap back to Tim Nicol. He's just got to keep it there. Drive safe and smooth as we see him kick up some dirt as he uses all the track. And that little bit of extra there allowed off the edge. Kennedy still hassling Tipping. It's always a question whether they should just bide their time or try and make the attack. The longer you sit on the back of another driver, the more stress they feel from you. They could make the mistake for you, as we see Sipple going down the inside of Nielsen now. Both going to hold it very, very tight through the final corner down onto the straight. Nielsen trying to go back under. Will get a great run. That's actually brought Healy into this battle, as well as Hansen. Nielsen.
Oh, Nielsen trying to hang it around the outside. Going to be entitled to some space. It does make the move stick, although Sipple trying to look for a bit of a switchback. Needs to be careful of Healy and Hansen, though, coming up behind.
Great battling shown. Sipples
needs to keep their eye on the prize of Pavlovic in front, though.
Yeah, Pavlovic is starting
start
to
losing
pull away.
Too much time. That's really the next car that you're going to be battling for, because the top 10 have managed to open up a gap to Pavlovic. There were some big gaps across the field, with Crosby being right up the front, with then Nicol 7.5 seconds back.
Jordan.
So McDonald trying to get past to Goey. Should be a pretty easy pass up the inside.
Oh, he's locked up.
Though. To Goey's still there.
Side by side. Bruce White is coming on this as well. View off Bruce's bonnet. These two are still side by side through this sweeping right.
Douglas is dragging up to the back of Nickel pretty quick. Chris Burridge behind him. Jay's had a great run down the hill with a bit of slipstream assistance. Chris Burridge isn't going to mess around though. Oh, and who's that? I think that was 052 for Scott Weston. Off track. Gonna look around the outside. Not quite enough space to make that move work. We'll get a good run though through the corner. Gonna look for a bit of an inside dive. Not quite close enough.
Jump back to Bruce White and Reese to Goey. Back at it again. Joe Marnie right on the rear of him. Still not in a bad spot, Joe is.
Safety car and this livens up the race for him.
Which, I was going to say, which we might be seeing here. Oh,
just had enough speed to be able to get himself back over the ridge there.
not a place for the V8 Supercars out on that dirt.
He's going to ride around
my
them.
gosh.
Oh.
Fire station, turn 5. It's not the smartest spot. Jump right back on board with tipping. Now the roles are reversed. It's tipping, hassling Kennedy. Crosby is still just stretching that gap out. 9.5 seconds to Jason Douglas, who is now up in P2. So we've missed Jace past Nichols, but Liam, Tipping and Kennedy will trade places again. We need to find this overtake where Jace managed to get round Tim. Up there for Liam Tipping as we quickly jump to this replay. Oh, it's right.
Oh, it's getting around. Now that might raise the eyes of race control.
It was interesting. Both cars tried to avoid the incident, and that put Douglas out in front. Crosby.
The only reason why I brought up the raise the eyes of race control is that would have been a local yellow. Probably applied by the sim, wouldn't have been. So was that overtaking under yellow? And was it overtaking off track?
So Callan was classed as off track or a driver not within the race at that point once he had spun. So it very much...
No, but the overtake of Douglas and Nickel. Douglas going the inside of Callan and Nickel having to go the outside.
Well, it doesn't matter because Nickel and Douglas are side by side. Maybe Douglas has redressed that possibly. Seemed like he made that quite easy for Tim to get back around him.
For the first of our stoppers here. Joe Marnie has stopped along with Troy Sipple. And Callan Hodgkinson's also in the pits, but he's been in there for quite a while now. Who's going to be the next car to pit, do you reckon? Looking at the numbers, I've got Troy Dooley, Liam Tipping, maybe Count and Weston as well. There'll be some that'll come into the pit shortly.
He still can't shake Bruce White. do think we should see another line of pit stops starting to flow through very soon.
So Dooley's come in. Looking to see if Tipping comes in. Tipping does come in. So does Kennedy. Follows them in. Whilst this pit stop sequence is going on, Crosby's pulled out a gap down 11 seconds and opening. Douglas has got past Nickel. So replay of what's happened there to get Nickel past. So Nickel had just run wide on the curb on the exit. Just pushing a little bit too hard. Douglas just capitalises and gets through. Todd Martin has picked up a speeding in pits penalty, I think. Black flag does come up for Todd Martin. So Todd Martin, the car at the back of the shot there in pit lane. Bruce White coming in now.
Huge lock up into the pits. Oh, DeGoey's off the track. That's DeGoey right there.
It is. I think DeGoey might have just got a little bit wide on exit of that corner.
Hardy Hansen now up 16 positions, battling it out with Tatar Pavlovich here to get the nose down far enough.
The nose is there. Can't make a move into there. It's too fast on entry. So White in, Taylor in. Cowan and Martin now coming out Martin after serving that 42-second stop hold. Bit of speeding on entry. So Tipping has stopped and so has Joe. So these two have come out with each other. Now, if I were these two, we know they talk to each other during the session. If I was these two, I would be talking about, right, who's quicker overall? So do we let one of us go and try and catch the back of the field? Or try and, close a gap through the pit stops to try and get a gain? Or do we just work together, use each other's slipstream, get each other closer towards at the end of the race, hoping for a safety car to try and really maximise? I'd probably be more inclined to go the other way and release one of the drivers. For the moment, Liam is just doing enough. Crosby's still out. Tim Nicholas come into the pits. And Tim Nicholas, the first of our leading cars to bite. Two down pit lane. Now releases Jordan McDonald. Back out towards the front. Scott Weston has come in as well. Jordan DeGoey. No, not Jordan DeGoey. That's a football player. Reese DeGoey.
Ray Healy, Travis Nielsen.
Lots of action on pit lane right now. Hansen still challenging the back of Pavlovich. "15 minutes left in this race. It's at least another 12 or so laps. Since they've been sitting around the 16, 17 lap mark for this second stint. This will be everyone biting it to go early. Crosby, Douglas, Burridge all in. Does McDonald follow? He does.
Nielsen has made his way back out.
But just need to watch and see where Tim Nicol will pop out through all of this. Has he done enough with the undercut to be able to get back in front?
Coming around the final corner now.
Big outlap coming from him. Crosby's back out. Hansen. Crosby gets out in front of Hansen. Tim Nicol coming out now. Will jump Douglas. And Burridge. So the effective podium at the moment is Crosby, Nicol, Douglas.
Hansen has yet to pit.
But Burridge is right up behind Douglas as well.
Coming back out of the pits into where he qualified in P13, so nothing lost. But he is back behind Reese to go. Yeah,
with a car in between too. In
that's
Todd Martin.
Yeah.
Oh, Petter, don't go on the dirt. Hansen in. So we'll keep an eye on where Hansen pops out. Hansen was battling with Pavlovich, so Pavlovich having done a little bit of an undercut. He's trying to get his way around Martin at the moment, who is blue flagged, and he will. Hansen rolling now. Has he done enough for the undercut to work? Sorry for the overcut. Here comes Pavlovich now. Daly hits. Hansen is rolling. There's Pavlovich. Hansen has done enough, but needs to get his tyres up to temp. Pavlovich needs to pounce right now. Pavlovich goes the outside. He's got warm tyres. Hansen hangs it in the inside. Pavlovich hangs it on the outside. Hansen brakes later. Gives him just enough space. And Hansen just holds on as they come through the balcony section. So Hansen, through the pit stop sequence, has managed to make an effective move. Tipping has fallen.
Oh,
Tipping is falling back through the order.
A huge off track.
So the final corner yet again. So what happens here? So is it just running deep? Yep, just runs a bit too deep. Runs off the rubber line.
There's nowhere to go. There's no grip out there.
Is it like having the banking there?
Yeah, it's definitely helped our drivers tonight. I think that banking wasn't there.
Keep it off the wall.
Yeah, there's going to be some walls, some wall hits if there was no banking. Troy Dooley on the back of Troy Sipple. Battle of the Troys. See Dooley get the nose down the inside, coming down to turn one. Be able to hold it through there. No, he is going to slot back in behind, but he is still extremely close. As Crosby has still pushed another 15 seconds.
Is Nicol off? Nichols off. Same
First
thing,
corner
last corner.
again. Pressure is getting these drivers. It's Burridge now on the back of Douglas. Both Burridge and Douglas, phenomenal drive tonight. Didn't quite get the top 10 shootout that they wanted, but are both now in contention for a podium with only 10 minutes left to go here for round 5. Harry Dodds joins us in the broadcast and says, haven't driven this track since week 13 last season. Should be fun in the supercar.
Just weary last corner.
Yes, yeah, weary of that last corner. Great driving from all our AMs here tonight. Not a single safety car. Lots of respect shown. Lots of space given. As the sun sets. Crosby, though. What a drive he has had tonight. He has stretched out the gap back to Jason Douglas to 16 seconds. Healy is now, looked like he had a bit of an off track as well. Burridge, though, starting to really put the pressure on Douglas. See that he is just edging ever so slightly closer.
Trying to make it with M1 Racing 1-2 at the moment. M1 Racing 1, 3, and 5.
Jace looks like he's picked up a bit of time there. Started to stretch that gap away from Burridge now. Oh, as Douglas is off. Oh, hold on to it, mate. Hold on to it. Oh my gosh, at full speed in the V8s. Burridge will take advantage of this. Douglas is going to have dirty tyres. Oh, as Burridge gets caught up.
So Douglas just got a little bit hot into turn 1. Crosby was still on the outside. A little bit of contact front to rear. Luckily, Burridge was able to catch it. Douglas just trying to make up for that mistake he made. Got Stephen Kennedy in the pits. I think Stephen Kennedy was off track at the time.
So it must be that first corner because, oh no, there's Nickel off. Nickel off over the top at Budweiser. He does have a pretty decent gap, but Marnie is now right on the back of him. And a pack of angry drivers coming through.
Tell you what, Marnie sees Nickel and he goes, oh, here we go. Here's a battle he's been looking for all night. So he made that mistake at the last corner.
With under 7 minutes left to go in this race, Marnie is definitely going to want to try and get that pressure down. Get on the back of him. Pavlovich now. Hansen. Come on, Marty. Found a new favourite driver in the AMs.
Hansen?
Yeah, he's had an absolute cracker of a drive tonight. Yep. Pavlovich will get that move done very cleanly. Gap, Crosby has stretched out to nearly 18 seconds now. Back to Burridge.
Yeah, with Burridge and Douglas going at it.
Did we miss Burridge get past Douglas?
No, Douglas was off track.
Good. Oh, yep, that's right. That's good. trying to read my notes here and couldn't see anything about it. Oh no, Kennedy's off in the background. Same, the last corner of the track. Jordan's off. Same corner
Last
again.
corner. Yep.
Anybody watching this that's racing in the Pro-Am series on Sunday, keep in mind that last corner is a doozy. And I feel like that's going to become a soundboard in someone else's Discord.
It's a doozy.
It's a doozy.
So Stephen Kennedy is pitting again.
He came off track on the last corner, and I think at some point they just sort of commit to the pits instead of trying to get it back on track. I think that's what's been happening there.
Is it that, or they're getting to the pit lane entry line
and they have to
too much speed and they can't control? So they're just going through the pit lane entry line and then coming back out and then copping a penalty for being too fast.
It's definitely a tough pit lane. That is a very fast final corner. And then to try and get into that pit lane, let alone going off track. The Battle of Troyes have been separated.
Osby's got that gap out now to 18.2. Douglas is on the back of Burridge again, though, as we look. Daly trying to go past Sipple.
Oh, that was gonna be beautiful.
Just got too far on the left-hand side of the curb.
It was looking so good.
What's going on here between Burridge and Douglas as we approach the final minute and a half of the race. Oh, Douglas off the track again at that final corner. Pushing so hard. Risk versus reward right now. Marnie still within 9/10 of nickel. McDonald hasn't been able to make much of an impact there. Dergowie on the back of Tipping, and Hansen still on the back of Pavlovich as well. See him in the background there. Hansen up 13 spots tonight, looking to make it 14 and to get a top 10 finish. '66 car of Crosby crossed
Tim's
the
off
line.
track. Tim's off track. That's put Marnie straight through. Oh, that's going to be a
and
big
he's
hit.
hit the wall. That will be a lot of damage to the left rear of his car.
That's
that puts McDonald through, White through. Might be okay to tipping. If he's still driving it straight, but that's dropped him from 4th down to 7th. Marnie managed to recover himself.
There's a few cars off track at that last corner.
That was DeGoey off. Hansen now, though, still stands a chance for making that top 10. Crosby coming around the final corner on white flag. He's driven an incredible race tonight. Kept his nose clean and will come home to take P1 here at Willow Springs, the SRW debut at Willow Springs. Burridge and Douglas are still going at it. Douglas is off. Douglas has run off at the final corner. Douglas is still miles off track. Where's Marnie? Here comes Marnie. Is he going to get past Douglas at the line? Douglas will just hold on. Gap's closing. Douglas will just hold on. So unfortunately, Douglas trying to catch Burridge. Marnie just 6/10 away. McDonald will come home P5. And it's Bruce White and a good drive for the other LMR Esports car. Nickel will come home in 7th. Should have been higher for Tim. He knows that. Just threw it away in the last corner. That penultimate lap. Pavlovich will hold over DeGoey. Hansen almost makes it a top 10 result. Great drive from Marty Hansen. Mark Peck and Brett Taylor still racing to the line. Taylor will hold on. Nielsen won't be far behind. And then Troy Dooley will be the last driver to cross the line tonight. A couple of blue flags in there throughout the field, but it is Crosby who will hold on by 18.4 seconds. That's the biggest margin we've seen, I think, in quite a while here. He's already at the start-finish line, getting ready to light up those rear tyres. Cowan dubbing into pits there. He'll be hoping for a better result next week. Oh, Scott Weston just holding on to it. We will wait for our next two as Darren Crosby decides to celebrate with some good donuts on the start-finish line. Race control telling me just to park it up. No burnouts yet. So we get Jace Douglas coming in as well. He'll be frustrated that he couldn't quite finish it off strong there. But it does make it an M1 Racing 1-2 tonight in what is an outstanding result for the team. A 1-2, 3, 4. Sorry, a 1-2 for M1 Racing. And LMR Esports driver Jason Douglas continues his great form this season, driving his way up to 3rd. A bit of contact there. That's all right. Bit of a kiss for the M1 cars is all good. All right, as we finish with those burnouts, we'll jump to the race results tonight. Darren Crosby comes home 18.4 seconds ahead of his teammate Chris Burridge to make it an M1 Racing 1-2. Jason Douglas comes home in P3. Joe Marnie almost caught him at the line, with Jason being off track through the final corner on that last lap. Joe Marnie recovers to 4th, which is a good result. We'll still give him a handy haul of points moving forward. Jordan McDonald comes home in P5, which is exactly where he started, as a matter of fact, alongside Bruce White, Tim Nicol, Liam Tipping, Petar Pavlovich, and Reese DeGoey round out the top 10. Marty Hansen in a great drive up 13 spots, comes home at 11 in front of Mark Peck. Brett Taylor, Travis Nielsen, Troy Dooley, Troy Sipple, Travis Daly, Craig Keeley, Todd Martin, Andrew Cowan comes home in 20th. Then we've got Scott Weston, Stephen Kennedy, who will be frustrated that he couldn't be up with his teammates. Just a couple of mistakes towards the back end. Callan Hodgkinson, Stephen Sinkovich round out the starters. Callan and Stephen some 21 and 39 laps off the lead, so fair way back. I think Stephen crashed out inside the first 3 or 4 laps or so. But that was another cracking race here for round 5 of the Simrigs V8 Supercars AM series. We will grab our podium getters into the comms booth now, starting with our 3rd place, Jason Douglas. Jason, mate, well done. Coming home P3. Looked like you were really challenging Chris Burridge in the last stint there, and just unfortunately at the last corner, just run off and undid some good work.
Just pushed it a bit too hard, I think. Last corner. So yeah, it was good racing between them, but yeah, I wish I could have got 2nd for more championship points, but 3rd's good enough.
Yeah, you only just held on to the 3rd though, from Joe Marnie. It was 6/10 when you crossed the line. So well done on still coming home on the podium. That's still definitely a handy haul of points. It looked like the last corner was difficult for everyone. I think you had a couple of moments off at that last corner.
Yeah, I had 2. I had, I can't remember what lap it was in the 2nd stint, but the last stint was the biggest one I had.
Yeah, I think there was only one person who hit the wall out of the last corner though, which unfortunately it was Tim Nicol, who you did have a bit of a battle going on earlier in the race. You two have, sorry. And you two have had some good battles in the last couple of days, the last couple of races.
Yeah, it was good racing Tim until I don't know what happened. He must have just locked up or something. But good racing him, because I know he's a respectful driver, and I know that he will give racing room. So I really enjoyed racing Tim tonight, and the other boys too. Like, they're just next level, some of them, but I'm slowly getting to next level and see what happens.
You will, mate. If you keep up the performance you put on week in, week out, mate, you're definitely going to be up there battling with the best of the AMs in no time, mate. You've already seen how many podiums this season?
I don't know how many podiums I've had this season, but yeah.
You've definitely got a couple, mate, and you are in the top 10 of the championship points, mate. So congratulations on another awesome race out here tonight. Had you done much practice on this track before the session opened tonight?
Yeah, a couple last week. I put a couple of rooms up last week, and I was humming and hawing, do I do it? Because I ended up last corner flying over the wall and back into the pits. But other than that, I don't know how many laps I've done for this race, but I won't be doing it as much as 48 laps again.
Well, mate, you had a great race, battled your way through the pack after an off earlier in the race, mate. Got yourself all the way back up into P3 for the podium. So congratulations, Jason Douglas, for LMR Esports. It is your turn to shout out all your sponsors who keep you out here on the track.
I don't have them up at the moment. I'll quickly go and do it.
Oh, no.
So we got Lodge Bros, W, NZ Performance, Wayne Boylett Mechanical, Lutsu Driver Performance, Oakmare's Majors Garage, JM Designs, and all the boys at LMR.
Well done again, mate, and we look forward to seeing you out here. You'll be back out Thursday for the 86s. Are you in the 86s at the moment?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll do it or not because I got placement on the Friday, so maybe not. Maybe see what happens.
I know how you feel, mate. I've got to be in class tomorrow before 9 a.m. So
I've got to be in class before 9:30 tomorrow. So
yep, I'm feeling you, mate. Well, again, congratulations, mate. We look forward to seeing you and the LMR crew back out here on track again next time.
Yeah, thank you.
From P2 to from P3. Get it right, ShiBBy. Learn to count. From P2. Oh my gosh. Let's try this again. From P3 to P2, it will be Chris Burridge from M1 Racing.
Yes. There you go.
Do you like getting randomly dragged in when you don't know it's going to happen?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, mid-conversation and then, whoa, what just happened?
Yeah, no, all good.
Mate, congratulations on a second place, up 6 spots. So the top 10 shootout didn't mean too much by the end of the race, did it?
No. I was pretty lucky with a few of the guys coming off on the track ahead of me. Got me up a few places, but yeah, that was good.
It was great racing out there tonight. It seemed like the final corner coming back onto the home straight was causing a lot of issues with it.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I stuffed her up in the qualifying. But yeah, it was lucky enough to stay on track.
Yeah, well, you did it where it counted, that's for sure. So you've done it during the race, whereas the other guys in front of you and around you sort of was having that problem.
Yeah.
You enjoy the race tonight?
Yeah. Oh, it was fantastic. Yeah, but like my first podium in these proper sort of races, so pretty happy with that.
Oh, well, huge congratulations, mate, for your first podium.
Yes.
That's a big thing, mate. Hopefully many more to come. The driving that yourself and your team showed out there tonight was top notch. It really was.
Yeah. Oh, we put in a fair bit of practice this week too, which is not a regular thing, I don't think. So definitely helped. So
now there's guys out there starting to practice for these races. We are becoming a serious league then, aren't we?
Totally. Yeah.
But as long as you had fun, mate, that is our number one rule here on SRW is get out there and have fun. The racing was extremely clean too. We just watching qualifying and a bit of practice, we're like, okay, there's going to be multiple safety cars. Not one.
Not one, yeah. That's right. That was good. Everyone was pretty tidy. Gave lots of room and stuff, so yeah.
Yeah, well, mate, again, congratulations to Chris Burridge here for M1 Racing. We'll take out second place tonight for round 5, mate. It is now up to you to shout out all your sponsors that keep you on track.
Yes, okay. I don't have too many, but I have obviously M1 Used Cars in Queensland. Darren Crosby is a top bloke. Just the M1 boys I'd like to thank too. And maybe a little shout out for the Pecky's boys as well, because they're top blokes as well. So there you go.
Good stuff, mate. So if I need a good used car, heads down to Slacks Creek in Queensland.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Darren,
and go see Darren.
Exactly.
Oh, so I can go meet Mr. Crosby in person then.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure he'll give you a really big discount.
Yeah, like I need any more cars. Well, mate, congratulations, and we definitely look forward to seeing you progress over the next. There is now only 4 races left in this season.
Yep.
So, mate, we look forward to seeing what you can do towards the pointy end of this season, mate, and keep your ear out for season 4. Series information being launched soon, so
Yeah,
it should be out there, mate. We do hope that you guys come back for another season.
So it certainly will. Yeah, it's been awesome, and the streams have been awesome too. So thanks very much for that.
No problems at all, mate. Without you guys or our viewers, we wouldn't be doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, congratulations. Go and celebrate, and we will go right ahead and talk to Mr. Darren Crosby.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations again, mate. All right, let's get this right the first time. Should be from second place into first place here tonight for round 5 is Darren Crosby from M1 Racing. Good evening, Darren.
Hey, how are ya?
Good, mate, good. Did we need to take more fuel out of your car or weigh it down with some bricks? Which one do you think would have helped?
I don't know, mate. I think the race gods were on my side tonight, but yeah, I don't know. I just got into the zone when I got out in front. My plan was to try and keep out of trouble after my mishap in the top 10. And once I got out in front and I had clean air, I sort of got into the zone then, and I just didn't make any mistakes.
You definitely didn't make any mistakes, mate. You know, you'd push that gap out to 18 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I had a bit of a look down, and the guys were about 11 seconds behind me, and I was a little bit unsure about how the pits were going with the last lot of fuel with the guys, and I wasn't sure if someone was going to jump out. So I just thought, well, I'll just keep going. And sometimes when I do race and I do slow down a bit to be careful, you sort of muck around with your muscle memory, and that's when you do make mistakes. So I thought, bugger it, I'll just keep going flat out.
Just keep going flat out. Mate, truer words have never been spoken. I feel like that's how I live my life every time I get into iRacing when I get the chance. There is no going slow. It is just push it to the limit and see what happens.
Nah, I felt pretty comfortable tonight, so I felt good pushing it, so it was good.
You looked super comfortable across the whole race.
Yeah, I was just hitting my markers every time. And like I said, other than that mishap in the top 10 shootout, I felt comfortable. And I sort of sat back a little bit at the start of the race, just keeping out of trouble, keeping tucked up behind Timmy until he made a mistake, and then I decided, well, it's time to go. So it was good. And we put in a pretty big practice session, M1 and Peggy's performance racing with all the boys in there last night. So we did a big 4-hour session. We sort of played around with setups, and we tuned the cars up and helped each other out. So yeah, big shout out to them as well for doing that. More the merrier in there. Anyone else that wants to come in the day before and there's a practice session up, it's good to get in there and help each other out and make a race of it.
Yeah, and by all means, if you guys are setting up practice sessions, spam it in the chat. Throw it into the Discord, mate. Let everybody in the Discord know. That open chat in the V8 Supercars AM section is for you guys to talk, discuss, tell people that you put up sessions. Get everybody in there, mate, because I love seeing and hearing about the community and different teams getting together and practicing and getting better together.
Yeah, we're all helping each other out in this league, so it's good. There's a top bunch of blokes in there.
Well,
and they're good to race against. There's a lot of room given and a lot of respect given.
Definitely, mate. And we saw that tonight. We were expecting safety cars. We really were. New track, very...
Myself, I was. Yeah, I was sort of working out a fuel strategy for those safety cars, and then, it was good that we didn't have one.
No, it was quite surprising, actually.
Especially when I had 18 seconds, I didn't need the safety car.
Yeah, that's not when you would have wanted a safety car, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, Darren Crosby from M1 Racing. You will take out first place this evening here for round 5 at Willow Springs, mate. Congratulations, and you get to shout out your sponsors.
Okay, first sponsor is M1 Used Cars down at Slacks Creek. Come down for a good deal. Got anything to do with sim racing, I'll give you a big discount. Second of all, my race team. I couldn't be in a better race team than the guys I race with. They always jump on when I'm on, and I jump on when they're on, and we help each other out. And this league, it's fantastic. This league, it's going in leaps and bounds at the moment. I wonder what's next. And of course, the broadcast, fantastic broadcast. Really enjoy watching it late at night, especially when I've won a race.
You're going to go straight back and jump on and watch it now?
Oh, definitely, mate. Going to order a late night pizza and get the beers out and try and get the missus involved.
I was going to say, no work tomorrow then?
There's work tomorrow.
There
There's
is
always
work tomorrow. Yeah, that's disappointing.
Well, after winning the race, there'll be all these people wanting to knock the fence down to buy cars off me. So
Yeah. Well, yep, Slacks Creek in Queensland, guys. You heard it, M1 used car. Go and see Mr. Darren Crosby. And I heard him say that if you have anything to do with sim racing, he'll give you a big discount. So
correct. That's correct. Get down there.
Yeah, get down there.
I don't know Queensland that well. I'm guessing M1 used cars is Slacks Creek on the just off the M1.
It is.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
There you go.
It sure is. Well, congratulations, mate. Go and enjoy that pizza and beer. And we look forward to seeing you and your team back out here next race.
Thanks, guys. All right. Thank you.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
That was Darren Crosby, your first place winner here for round 5 tonight. M1 Racing Team taking out P1 and P2 with Jason Douglas for LMR Esports. Getting himself up into P3 with Joe Mahoney just managing to squeezing his way into P4. Was a great, clean race tonight, and I definitely look forwards to the Pro-Am on Sunday night when our Pro-Am drivers take to Willow Springs as well. Come and join myself and Andrew Cowie, your not-so-average sim racer, with the Formula 3 Nationals, thanks to Shannon's Insurance tomorrow night at 7:30. The broadcast will kick off, and then you can join me again with Ryan Green on Thursday night for the Shannon's Toyota GR86 Nationals. And then don't forget the Sunday night V8 Supercars Pro-Am, thanks to Sim Rigs. Solid race tonight. Preach. Solid race.
Yes, very, very solid race. Very exciting. Definitely not what I was expecting in terms of a raceability track. It turned out to be probably one of the best races of the season in terms of overtakes, and the drivers probably won't agree apart with the last corner, but it was certainly quite an experience and quite a good thing to watch tonight. It will be bad of us to forget one more thing that we have to do.
Driver of the day.
Driver of the day.
I have my pick. I think you know who my pick's going to be.
I think I know your pick, and I think I'll agree. Even though he finished outside the top 10, with a drive to make up, 13 positions in the end?
Yeah.
With a great drive, challenging everyone around him, and just a nice, clean, consistent race. Our driver of the day will be Marty Hansen for East West Racing GMK Logistics.
Indeed, it will. Definitely well deserved tonight, although just like every other race, I could possibly give everybody out on track the driver of the day award, but we can only pick one. So, Marty Hansen, you are our driver of the day and will be receiving yourself a little congratulations package thanks to temptingsweets.com.au. And you can use code SRW10 at checkout if you guys want to get yourself some of those sweet. So should shout out to Tempting Sweets for that. Massive shout out for everybody for joining us tonight. Can't wait to do it all again. Thanks, Preach, for coming along on this journey with us again this evening, mate. Couldn't do it without you. But we will, be back tomorrow night for the Formula 3 Nationals. And we're going to end this broadcast by saying, have fun. And stay
safe and race hard.
Yeah, that's it. My own catchphrase.
And yes, have fun. Have fun.
Have fun. All right, guys. We'll talk to you again soon.